Hey guys, this is my first run on Dar3 Defy stage 1. On this particular stage I decided to bring Neon and 7, and on hindsight I don't think you need both of them together. Either one of them is actually sufficient to deal with the mechanics. 7's bondage whip can gravity shift the boss's breath down to 0 and will actually allow your damage dealer to hit force weakness as long as your damage dealer is magical type. In this case I use Neon. Neon herself doesn't actually need 7 because one way to get around the brave damage resistance that's heavily featured on this stage is of course to go rainbow damage, and Neon can easily achieve that using her LD. The combination of both together though is pretty safe overall because if one of them didn't really work out, you still have the other of the two to fall back on. But really, any magical DPS, I think another good example is Seed Rains over Neon can also work. You just really have to time your force attack really well so that you use your force attack the moment the enemies enter into force time. And you see it soon here, I'm coming close to force time. So just to recap what happened so far, I just have reset until Neon starts first, and then I just use a BT plus to get her BT aura up. 7 just goes LD and bondage whip and use the Keiss LD call to complete the setup. Aerith functions here as the force gauge charger, so I'm first of all using healing wind as 1 until the force gauge is above 70%. The moment you hit 70% force gauge, then go to Lunafreya LD call, use LD. The LD here will break both bosses and cancel the buffs. Now here is the tricky part. Ideally, what you want to do is have Aerith use her BT plus right before the enemies go into force time. So in other words, you want the BT plus of Aerith to be the one that triggers the enemy's force time. It sounds very tricky, but it's actually not. The trick is that if the enemy is below 90% force gauge, just spam healing wind. The moment they are above 90% like so, then you end Aerith's turn using her BT plus. Doing so allows you to start Neon's turn with Aerith having the 4 turns of gold frame buff up, which is pretty handy. So this triggers the enemy's forced attack, but because of Aerith's gold frame buff, you will be taking 0 damage. The enemies will enter 20 turn force time, but really all you need to do is break enemy A with Neon's force attack, and that will achieve force weakness. Before I do that, I use the Seed Rain space call on the off target, and this is very important, target boss B. Use Seed Rain's call on boss B just to pull Aerith's turn back. Then enter Neon's force time, and this allows you to also hit force weakness. The goal here next is to go 1 round of turns so that you can spam echoes on Aerith and 7. You want Neon to enter BT mode with 8 turns of force time remaining, which means that you only have room for 2 non-echoes attack. One of it will be the Seed Rain's LD call, and the other will be Aerith's LD. Everything else will be echoes, and what you want is to squeeze in as many echoes as possible. That's why here on Aerith's turn again, because reminder you've pulled her turn back with the Seed Rain's base call earlier, I spammed double echoes with Aerith before ending her turn with LD. Do not use Aerith's EX here because Aerith's EX is high turn rate and it will pull her turn back and screw up your turn order. 7 uses 1 echoes here, and I placed 7 on party slot number 3 intentionally. This is so that she has 1 more echoes that you actually use at the end of the fight. Finally, coming back to Neon's turn, before entering BT mode, you want to use the Seed Rain's LD call, this time pulling Neon back. Now I have to confess that I'm not exactly sure what the optimal BT rotation is for Neon. I haven't used her for a long time. I opted to go for EX followed by 3 S2s since the S2s have split damage. I was considering starting the rotation with LD since this will allow Neon to hit for Rainbow the entire BT mode. But I decided in the end to just save for her LD, more for the damage at the later part of the BT mode. Here you'll notice that I am damaging the bosses a little bit unevenly. This is done on purpose because 7's Force Echo, which I'll be using next, is predominantly single target only. So you want to chunk through one of the boss's HP and save the remaining boss to be sort of the mid fodder for 7's Force Echoes. The bosses survive the BT mode, but you have 1 turn of force time remaining and you still have 7's Echoes. So this is where I pop Brother Summon for the huge nuke. So here I use 7's Echoes on the boss that has more HP. On Aerith's turn here, I sort of paused a bit because I wasn't sure whether I should be using the EX or the LD. I think the EX would actually be a better choice, but I was afraid that it wouldn't be enough to finish off boss B, so I just in the end opted to go for LD. Luckily the LD was enough to round off the fight. Hope this video has been helpful, and as always, if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Dare to Defy stage. Bye!